Chamber music provokes the mystic vegan tap dance boogie. Unfold your arms, children, boss up like righteous hooky. I am neither John Cassavetes nor a Wookiee. That means the only thing I do is resurrect the Chinese bookie. Boogie woogie, that's the way of life that I promote. So the rookie wins with bowling pins to stay afloat. Carbo calls that curry favor for the flavor of the wild oat. And open up the gates that pen the Billy Goat. Though it's a long road, the other shores way over yonder. So in the meantime, the mystic tap dance makes you ponder. Is this the best we can do? The human Cadillacs hacking each other down. Kalashnikovs, the battle axe, blacks killing blacks, capillaries full of cracks. Paranoia over mosques, slivers, money and max. Stupid by Sarah Palin, Mama Grizzlies going wailing while the planet burns.
I try to make this snappy, man. I don't take up too much of y'all's time. I know I always say that. You end up talking forever. But this one been a long time coming right here, man. Hold on. Been a long time coming. Some shit I felt like needed to be addressed. Because, you know, we don't really have time to keep bullshitting, man. We need to, start learning how to do for ourselves. Stop being so dependent on other motherfuckers, you know? And the reason I'm saying that is because I see a lot of people wrapped up in a lot of motherfucking spooked out nonsense, for lack of a better word, fam. I'm just gonna be straight up with y'all, man. And I ain't even gonna go so far as to call it nonsense. I'm just gonna call it motherfucking non-applicable. Like, y'all hear that shit? I'm just waiting for him to finish. I really hope y'all can hear that. Nigga jamming. He must have saw me right here. Nigga just gonna stop as soon as he walked right in front of me. But anyway. Yeah, man, we wooed out, man. We be on some other shit, man. Like, I can't help but notice, like, I was on Social Blade last night, checking some of my stats for my channel, right? So while I was there, you can compare your channel to other channels. So I just decided to type in a few names of some people who I know that are kind of popular in this little circle we got, this little so-called conscious, black conscious community, whatever you want to call this shit. This little corner of YouTube over here. So I checked out a few people, man, and just know these niggas is popular as fuck, like, compared to me. Like, these wooed out niggas got damn near, like, some of these niggas got over 100,000 subscribers. Like, it's crazy. And like you know, I'm always careful to be, I don't want to sound like I'm hating, because that's just the label niggas like to throw around anytime you disagree with what they doing. But I don't even disagree with what they doing. I just think it's crazy. It just is a reflection of the type of world we in and the type of mind state we have when niggas who talking all kind of pseudo-spiritual mumbo jumbo are getting thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of views and subscribers. And a nigga like me who trying to tell you how to practically take care of yourself right here, right now. Your physical, what you can see, smell, touch, taste, hear, and smell. Like, you know, I'm struggling compared to them. Like, if you really, now granted, I don't put out near as much content as these niggas. Like, when I was looking at it, I was like, damn, these niggas easily got 2x, 3 times as many videos as me. So I know content is king on YouTube. You got to put out a lot of shit if you want a lot of people keeping up with you. So that's something I'm trying to work on. But anyway, that's irrelevant, because it don't even matter, because ain't nobody who do what I do or talk the shit I talk popular. Like, it was a few other brothers in my little circle that I was aware of that was even focused on that type of shit or concerned with that type of shit, and I don't even see them making videos no more. Them niggas, you know, if they even got over 100 subscribers, I'd be surprised. But that probably discouraged them from doing this shit. It's like, nobody want to hear this shit. Niggas want to watch motherfucking Glozell or whatever that dumb bitch name is. Like, I couldn't believe when I saw how many motherfucking subscribers she had. Wow. Just some straight buffoonery. But that's what the fuck y'all like. This the type of shit to get 1 million views. Nigga go fucking talking about salads and shit. Nigga like, man, we don't want to hear that shit. Entertain me. That's what motherfuckers want. And I get it. I'm really, like I said many times, like, surprised to be as popular as I am. Like, just to have the amount of subscribers I got is an accomplishment for the type of shit I talk about. But that's sad. And that's the type of shit I want us to work on, man. Like, don't get all caught up in the woo, in the spookism, before you got your practical shit down, before you've mastered your physical. See? Yeah, I want to talk that 180 or that 360 shit. You've mastered your 180 physical and 180 spiritual. Well, what does that really mean? Because I used to be under the impression that just meant mastering myself physically. Like, okay, I can discipline myself. But I've come to realize that it means more than that. You got to master your physical environment, this physical plane. It's just like when the master teacher taught that if you're a man, you should be able to operate anything with wheels. You should be able to drive anything. Forklift, truck, bike, whatever. If it rolls, you should be able to operate that shit. And I'd even take it a step further and say you should be able to pilot anything that moves. Like, you should be able to pilot an automobile, a helicopter, a plane, because you never know. You know what I mean? So, yeah, this is all part of mastering this physical plane. You should be able to do everything you need to do here before you move on into all that other shit. I don't want to hear about your chakras or your soul or your motherfucking frequency or no dimensions or none of that bullshit until you show me you can make a fucking fire. Like, how many of us can just start a fire? Find some water if we need to. Build some shelter. Make our own clothes. Grow our own food. Like, I don't want to hear no more science, no more spiritual shit talk until I got that type of shit done. Like, I had to put a lot of shit on hold. Like, and I should show y'all. I mean, I think y'all know that. I mean, I'm into all the same shit y'all into. Like, I'm not knocking none of that shit. I got my altar in there. I got my crystals in there. I got my, you name it, I got it. All of that's great. You can get metaphysical after you've mastered the physical. You can't move beyond the physical till you've mastered this plane. And I just think we spend way too much time on the pseudo-spiritual shit. And I say pseudo because we don't even have clear definitions for the half of the shit we talking about. That's another reason why I don't want to hear that shit. If you come to me with some spiritual talk and I ask you to define spirit, define soul, And you'll start to find out that the average person who throws these terms around don't even have a clear definition for what they even fucking talking about. You don't even know what the fuck you mean. That's why I decided that if I was going to ever use that word again, I was going to have to come up with a clear definition. So I had to sit down and come up with my own definition for what a soul is. And I'm not going to give you my definition. You need to come up with one. Or else, get that shit out of your vocabulary. Take anything that you can't properly define out of your vocabulary. It's useless to you. You have no use for it. If you can't properly define it or explain it clearly. So here's another problem I've been having. I've been talking to my sister a lot about this. She woke up recently and, you know, she been noticing all these pseudo-spiritual niggas coming at her trying to sound deep and shit to get some pussy. And she's smart enough to know to ask them niggas, well, break that shit down for me. Can you make it plain? As the Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught, make it fucking plain. And then you'll start asking niggas that. Make it plain, man. Can you break this shit down as if I was a child? How would you explain this to your child? And the more you do that, the more you'll find out that niggas don't know what the fuck they talking about. If you can't break that shit down, if you can't make it plain, explain it to me as if I was a child, if you can't explain what you claim to know in your own words, then you don't know that shit. Simple as that. You just regurgitating some shit. And I don't want to hear no more regurgitations. And no more useless information either. Motherfuckers start telling me about what frequency and dimension they on, and I see you doing the same shit as everybody else, then what the fuck good does that do? You just getting off work, but you on some high frequency. You vibrating on, you in some fifth dimension and all this other bullshit, but you gotta do the same shit everybody else do. Like, show me some extraordinary shit. Then I want to hear, then we can talk. Like, just give me some benefit. Like, you sound, what we have become is a whole nother religion. And you start sounding like a motherfucker making their God claims. And I start asking you, well, what benefit does this thing do for me? What good is the Bible? What good is God? What purpose does it serve? And they'll have to start coming up with some whole shit that don't apply to you right now. The number one reason motherfuckers will give you for believing in God is some afterlife concept. So you can spend eternity in heaven, or you don't spend eternity in hell. Well, since I don't have no reason to believe either one of them places exists, I just gotta go with what I can verify right now and worry about that. If believing in your deity ain't gonna help me right now, then it's useless. And that's the way I feel about your deities too. Your Most High, your Creator, your Orishas, your Neteru, whatever you believe in. If it's outside of yourself, then it's a distraction, as far as I'm concerned. If you can't tell me how these entities are helping you get your food every day, then I don't fuck your entities. Like, I don't give a fuck. I don't care. This is why a lot of these pseudo-spiritual teachers had to give y'all some kind of payoff. Okay, if you buy this picture of this deity, you'll get this. This gonna help you with your relationship, or this gonna help you get money, or this guy will help you do this and that. You gotta assign purposes to these motherfuckers. So what happens when you find out you don't need? I ain't never needed no God, no deity to get a woman, or to get money, or to get anything. So when you realize, oh, okay, I can do these things on my own, now I gotta ask, what the fuck good is your spiritual shit? And then you're gonna just be forced to say, oh, it really ain't no good right now. It's spiritual. It's only gonna be useful in the spiritual realm. That's what this is for. And everything you learning is basically only useful in the spiritual realm. Well, goddamn, man. I need to learn how to survive right here on Earth. What makes you think, if you think that shit exists, that you won't get to learn whatever you need to learn there? Ain't it how it always work in all the movies and all the afterlife movies, life after death movies? There's a guide waiting for you. There's always somebody. Either you invented them in your mind, or there's some real person, family member waiting for you. But there's always a guide there to tell you what's up. Hey, you dead. First thing they're gonna tell you. They ain't gonna tell you how to work this shit. What do you do? What are the rules of this world of being dead? Like, you just learn all over again. We can get into the science of not losing yourself and remembering who you are when you leave here and all of that. But, you know, if I start asking you, can you demonstrate that there's a mind independent of a brain? Y'all gonna be looking at me crazy. Most of y'all ain't even thought about that. But you've accepted this as reality. And I'm not saying that I don't think it's real. I'm just saying I question it. If you're not trying to falsify everything you believe or everything you think you know, then really what you're doing is just operating off confirmation bias. That's why I spend very little time socializing with other people who agree with me. Because then you run the risk of being just like you were in church. It's easy to believe this bullshit when everybody else believe it. Nobody really ever questions it. Ain't nobody asked you to define spirit and soul. Because all the conscious people just go along with that shit. They pretend like they know what you mean. Just like people pretend like they know what you mean when you say God and heaven and hell. So, that's my point, man. Stop talking about shit you don't really understand or understand. Stop talking about shit you can't verify as if it's fact. It's cool to say you believe something, or you think something is a likely theory, but until you can clearly define and explain and break down what you're talking about, just don't present it as factual information, and don't spend too much time focusing on it. If the person who's presented it to you can't do that, if he can't break it down for you clearly, motherfucker got to use all these extra big words. People do that shit on purpose because they know if they can make some shit sound deep, and if you didn't understand it, then it might be something wrong with you. So your motherfucker have you thinking you just not smart enough to grasp this, or you just not ready yet. You're just not spiritually enlightened enough. You haven't reached that level. Bullshit, family. That motherfucker wouldn't talk like that to their children. You wouldn't use them words to your child. Don't you want them to understand these principles? And if you say, well, a child wouldn't be able to grasp these principles, then what the fuck good is it? I can't even think of no topics that are... What would be a topic that would be only reserved to grown people? That you gotta be grown before you can be told about this. Sex. I know that's what most of y'all are thinking. But we know that's bullshit, because you start asking questions about sex as a child. You don't want to wait till you grown to learn about fucking sex. It's not even reality, family. First of all, what the fuck is grown? Like, we gotta have a whole nother conversation. There are children You can find a 7-year-old that can comprehend things better than a 70-year-old. So, master your physical first. That's really my message to you. Master the physical plane first. Learn how to start a fire. Learn how to make a solar panel. Learn how to grow you some food. If you ain't growing no food somewhere, like I don't want to hear that I don't have a garden shit, I don't have a balcony, I don't have a patio. Okay, you got a window. You got a place to live. You can grow shit indoors. If you don't know about that, but you know about what chakras do what, you can give me all the colors and the meanings of the chakras and the auras, and you can tell me about the science of the Ankh and the pyramid, and like you can just get into all type of shit. The number 13, and like, come on, man. That's great. Once I see that you can do for yourself, once you've mastered this physical plane, once you got the practical shit out the way, can you make a pair of fucking drawers? Like, that's some shit we might need in the future, way more than we need a motherfucking astrologist. Like, real fucking talk, man. I don't want to hear shit about no goddamn zodiac. So you can goddamn make a battery. Huh? Can you make a battery out of shit in your house? Out of potato or lemon? No, man. That's just me. I don't have no more time for it. So that's all, folks. Yeah, we might just want to spend a little more time on practical shit, a little less time on the woo-woo, till we get our shit together, man. Till we become a little more self-sufficient. My message to you. Hope y'all can digest that and be healthy. Peace.
Banana spot for the bounty, shared from the Bronx to Kisangani. No need to kill for water, for food like Handsome Johnny. Cultures of violence and their vultures of silence might fade away, and that includes the rest of oil fields of Bonnie. The mystic tap dance boogie shows that world peace isn't hard. Beacons of light written in flight by buoyant bards. The inhospitable wardens across the planet must have obsidian souls, while the boogie soul is pomegranate, plummeting the hegemonic phonic of the fool to an abyss. All the white noise, the ambiance, the hiss, as our own dance taps drown out the sound of coal with the sound of bull. The human beings that blow a kiss. From Kinshasa to Fortaleza to Opomoso, strong will strivers winning over all the no-shows. To learn the mystic vegan tap dance boogie in the sun, sustainable quilombos keep the corporate forces on the run. Clean and easy living, walk the land like Bodhidharma. Leave the car at home, empty the zoo and clear the karma. Bring the brothers home, close the jails and fund the college. The liberationists for revolution must have knowledge. Pro-human pedagogies, no more spikes on planters. Science and traditional knowledge mixed with plant enchanters. Mandana Shiva is the general, and people like her. Wangari Maathai, and plant more trees and be a biker. The mystic vegan tap dance boogie looks like landed freedom. Mau Mau sounds preferring death until the stacks